Hello friends, welcome back to our YouTube channel. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. I'll share our videos commanded by our experts, so let's begin.
If you like, please like, share and subscribe. So let's begin our today's topic. Let's begin.
Billions of digital assets flow across global ad networks every single day. As the volume of synthetic media increases, platforms are enforcing strict new oversight to track what is real and what is generated. Google now requires disclosure labels for advertisements created or edited using generative AI. The system operates on a dual mechanism model. If you use Google's native tools, the disclosure happens automatically. But if you use outside tools, Google relies completely on you to self-report the AI generation. We are going to look at exactly when a label is required and how to manually apply the AI disclosure toggle inside your dashboard. To follow along, you will need an active Google Ads account and a media asset generated by third-party AI software. Mastering this manual process ensures your campaigns maintain global compliance and avoid algorithmic ad rejections before they even launch. Step 1 is checking the software origin of your ad creative. Google distinguishes between two generation scenarios. First is auto-labeled content. This applies to assets generated entirely within Google's native AI features, such as Performance Max or Demand Gen. These native tools operate automatically. They require zero manual compliance intervention from you. This diagram shows the alternate scenario, manually labeled content. If you build assets using third-party software like Adobe Firefly or Midjourney, you fall into the manual path. Google cannot independently verify outside tools, leaving reporting responsibility entirely on you. Pinpointing your specific software ecosystem is the absolute first step in preventing compliance failures before an ad is even uploaded. Step 2 is assessing the actual magnitude of the AI modification on the asset. This comparison illustrates a minor edit. Standard industry practices like color correction, basic retouching, and blemish removal do not trigger the mandate. These routine adjustments are entirely exempt from the new disclosure policy. Contrast that with this substantive edit, where a standalone product is placed into an entirely synthetic jungle background. Generating a synthetic voiceover or creating completely new visual elements falls into this category. The policy only triggers when generative AI introduces fabricated conceptual elements that did not exist in the original media. Global standards cover most campaigns, but specific regional compliance laws override default dashboard settings. Currently, 3 primary jurisdictions trigger strict legal mandates: the European Union, the Nation of India, and New York State. These jurisdictions require a direct, permanently visible text label or visual overlay right on the ad creative itself. This mock-up demonstrates how to meet this requirement. You need to physically bake a clean, legible text watermark directly into the creative file using standard design software prior to upload. Many advertisers hesitate to do this, fearing potential account penalties for using excessive text overlays. Google officially guarantees these specific AI disclosure watermarks will not violate their standard policies against text overlays. These physical watermarks are an additive legal requirement, representing an extra layer of compliance beyond the standard digital toggle. Now that the asset is prepared, we can move into the main Google Ads dashboard for the setup phase. Begin your standard campaign creation workflow. You do not need to alter your usual preliminary steps. Upload the third-party generated media asset directly into your ad group. Navigate away from the primary upload screen and open the specific asset details and settings panel. Look at this settings panel to locate the exact toggle control Google designated for declaring AI involvement. Manually flip this self-reporting toggle into the active position. An immediate status change or confirmation indicator will verify the asset is now successfully flagged in the system. Save your progress and formally submit the campaign for review. This single back-end action fulfills Google's global mandate for third-party generated assets. With the compliance sequence complete, the finalized campaign deploys actively across digital networks. We can now look at exactly what the end consumer experiences when viewing the approved ad on Search, YouTube, or Discover. Consumers can interact with the ad globally by clicking the 3-dot menu or the information icon. This expanded menu shows the My Ad Center dropdown. Inside, a specific block states how this ad was made, created or edited with AI. To ensure full compliance, perform a historical audit of all active campaigns and make sure this toggle is retroactively activated on all your existing third-party assets. Generative AI tools have made digital marketing materials remarkably cheap and accessible. A product shot taken in a garage can be swapped for a mountaintop or a futuristic cityscape in seconds. Advertisers can now synthesize entire backgrounds from text prompts, generate synthetic voiceovers out of thin air, and populate their ads with visual elements that never physically existed. This level of fidelity makes it difficult to distinguish between a physical product set and a complete digital fabrication. The visual cues we usually rely on to spot a fake are disappearing. In response, Google introduced a global mandate requiring disclosure labels for any synthetic ad running across Google Search, YouTube, and Google Discover. But rolling out a policy is easy. Enforcing it raises a logistical question. How does a single platform track, verify, and accurately label millions of synthetic assets uploaded every single day? To handle this volume, Google relies on a mechanical approach, a massive, automated compliance pipeline. The first gate in this pipeline determines if an ad actually triggers the policy. Standard editing, color correction, or minor retouching to fix a blemish slip right through the gate without triggering any alerts or labels. The mandate is only triggered by substantive generation. This includes creating new visual elements that did not exist in the original file, generating a synthetic voice, or building an entirely new background. Google draws this line based on the scale of reality altered in the final image, regardless of which software the advertiser used. Once an ad is flagged, it is tagged through a dual mechanism model. The route it takes depends on where the ad was created. With native tools like Performance Max, AI tags apply automatically. Data flows straight to a verified label. But external software like Midjourney creates a blind spot. Google cannot verify these origins. To fix this, advertisers manually declare AI use with an ad's dashboard toggle. This highlights a vulnerability in the pipeline. While native tools allow for automated tracking, external generation relies on a self-reporting honor system. After an ad clears the pipeline, it moves to deployment, where your physical location determines how that tag appears. In most countries, the disclosure is tucked away. Users have to seek it out by clicking the three-dot menu to see the Created or Edited with AI label in the Ad Center. This subtle approach doesn't work everywhere. Regions like the European Union, India, and New York have established stricter regulatory frameworks. In these regions, local laws require labels to appear as visible text or visual overlays, stamped directly onto the ad creative itself. To comply, Google allows brands to design their own custom overlays, bypassing standard rules that usually restrict text and watermarks on ad images. Your physical location determines the level of transparency you receive. It's the difference between an unavoidable warning and a hidden menu option. Transparency mechanisms are now built directly into the digital advertising ecosystem. This system is a work in progress, balanced between reliable internal automation and a more fragile external honor system. For the consumer, the ability to identify synthetic media is available, but it requires knowing where to look. If you are in a high-regulation zone, the labels will be clear and placed directly on the creative. For everyone else, identifying AI generation requires the proactive habit of checking the three-dot menu on ads that look suspiciously polished. Platforms can provide the disclosure tools, but identifying what has been synthesized still relies on the consumer actively checking the labels.